Barry and I were one for like 10 years. I spent more time as Barry than I did as myself.
From our TV pal Barry Allen zooming off into the sunset, to the wacky possibility of him blazing back, but plot twist, in your earbuds, this is every way Grant Gustin could return as the Flash. So, we've all been a little down in the dumps since Grant Gustin, our favorite speedster, waved goodbye to the Flash and left the DC Universe behind. He even got real at Phoenix Fan Fusion, giving us the lowdown on why he decided to hang up his Scarlet Lightning boots. After running around as Barry Allen for 9 solid years, Grant felt it was time to hit the brakes. Leading a mega show at just 23 was a big deal, and honestly, pretty stress-inducing. But as he got older, family time started to top his priority list. He realized he was missing too many goodnight kisses with his kiddo. Plus, he didn't want to half-bake his performance in the show. For him, it was either give it your 100% or don't do it at all. And did you know? He's been singing a bit more these days. Not for a gig, but God do I miss his Glee days. But for his little girl.
I just knew it was time for me to step away, have more time with my family after season 9, and just enter this next, chapter of my life.
So what's the deal? Is he done with The Flash for good? Even though he loved his time on the show, he's been keeping us guessing. Sure, he said no to the recent Flash movie, but who knows? He might just zip back as the Flash when we least expect it. I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Now, I don't want to get all your hopes up, but in a chit-chat with Us magazine, the actor didn't completely shut down the idea of a comeback as Barry Allen. In fact, if someone's got a killer Flash idea, Gustin's all ears.
I think regardless of whether I put the suit on again or not, and I love this, I'll be associated with the character for the rest of my life. So yeah, if anybody wants to call me about The Flash, I will take the phone call and hear them out.
And let's be honest, who can blame him? He's played the superhero for so long. The character is part of his DNA now. And while Ezra Miller is the current speedster in the DC movies, there's still room for him to blaze a trail back into the role. Maybe it's a special Flash revival movie or even an HBO Max limited series. Who knows? Point is, Gustin's Flash era will always be iconic, and it's kind of bittersweet to see it end. Anyway, I'm sure you all know that the Flash movie has already raced into theaters, right? And remember how it was hyped up as probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made? Well, I've got to say, it stumbled a bit at the box office.
Sherlock, they did.
Pulling in a not-so-super $55 million in the US on its opening weekend. I can practically hear the industry bigwigs scrambling to figure out where they went wrong.
What went wrong?
There was a bucket load of speculation pre-release with rumors flying around that Gustin might even make an appearance. But unfortunately for us fans, that didn't happen. But you know what? Given the movie's less than stellar performance, maybe, just maybe, this could be a chance for him to zoom back into the picture. With the film not quite hitting the mark, and the multiverse is now in need of some serious TLC, this might be the perfect time for a multiverse event to shake things up. The actor, with his charm, popularity, and multiverse know-how, could be just the thing to give the DC Universe the boost it needs. Imagine that, a crossover event featuring faces from across DC's live-action history with the actor at the helm. I'm sure we can all agree that it'd be a spectacle worth watching. Now we all know the DC Universe is getting a much-needed reboot, right? And in this big shakeup, co-CEOs, James Gunn and Peter Safran could take a bold step. Instead of sticking with Miller as the Flash, they might consider passing the baton, or should I say lightning bolt, to someone else. And who better than our very own Grant? I mean, there's been a tidal wave of fans who'd love to see the actor trade his TV suit for a movie one and become the main movie, Barry Allen. Now this wouldn't be the same Flash we saw on TV, we're talking about an alternate version. Hell, Gunn himself hinted that he might keep some DC TV actors in his rebooted universe. So, who knows? We might get our wish to see Grant in the movieverse after all. And since we're just waiting around for his film cameo, let's get into some speculation as to how the hell he'd make his way back to The Flash. How about a guest appearance by the actor as The Flash in Superman and Lois? Despite the series not being part of the Arrowverse, there's no reason why they can't mix things up with a little multiverse magic. Plus, the Arrowverse's Flash helping out Superman to save the day. Now that sounds like a party, since Superman and Lois is set to stick around for a few more seasons. There's plenty of time for the actor to suit up, zip into this different Earth, and give us a flash of nostalgia before zipping back home. Now wouldn't that be a sight for sore eyes? And how cool would it be to finally see the Arrowverse Justice League on the big screen? I mean, they were all set to rumble at the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, but never had their big moment. You know, actors leaving, shows getting axed, and that pesky pandemic messing with the schedule kind of put a damper on things.
This is not good.
But hey, Gunn's Elseworlds label gives us a glimmer of hope. It's all about those DC projects that exist outside his new universe, and an Arrowverse Justice League movie fits the bill perfectly. It could be a proper send-off for the Arrowverse with our very own TV Flash front and center. Now that's an idea that could have us all racing to the cinema. And what if we were to see Gustin back in action as the Scarlet Speedster, but this time in a sequel series on Max? Picture this. He takes a well-deserved break after a decade-long stint as the Flash, and then makes a triumphant return a few years down the line. We'd get to see how Barry's life has changed post-Flash finale, catching up with one of the Arrowverse's most loved characters. The show would have a fresh vibe, far from the Arrowverse's original Flash series. We're talking fewer episodes, a larger budget, and a grown-up tone. It'd be like meeting an old friend, but finding out they've been on this crazy journey and have all these cool new stories to share. I mean, that's a sequel series I'd be tuning into. Now, if the bigwigs over at DC think a live-action Arrowverse Justice League movie might steal their thunder, they could opt for a neat little workaround, an animated series or movie. It's like killing two birds with one stone. The Arrowverse gets a satisfying closure, and we get to see our favorite superheroes rally for a final hurrah. We all know The Flash Season 9 couldn't make it happen due to reasons. Honestly, I'm just hoping something with Gustin is in the works. He's already lent his voice to the animated Vixen series as the Flash.
I ask myself that question a lot.
So there's a chance he'd be up for reprising the role in a potential animated Arrowverse show or movie. I mean, picture it. Barry Allen, the animated version. But hey, why stop there? He could also make a comeback as the Flash in one of DC's animated movies. Okay, he can't be the main Flash from the current DC animated continuity, the Tomorrowverse, because that's Matt Bomer's turf. But he could step into Barry's shoes for a standalone animated adventure. DC's done a ton of animated features, both in continuity and out, so Grant's got loads of options to come back as Barry. All we can do now is sit tight and keep hoping. And then, of course, there's Max's Harley Quinn, that madcap adult animated series that turns DC's iconic characters into something entirely new and hilariously twisted. In the 3 seasons and Valentine's Day special, the Flash has popped up a few times, but mostly just as a side character. Now imagine if our favorite speedster stepped in, taking over the mic from Scott Porter. It'd be like the Flash suddenly found a power boost. This could give our speedster a more prominent role and offer Gustin the chance to play a Flash that's, well, a bit more quirky. But wait, there's another curveball we can throw? Grant could make a comeback as the Flash, but this time on a podcast. Yeah, you heard that right, a podcast. DC's been diving into these audio dramas with Batman Unburied hitting the top spot on Spotify's worldwide charts.
The scripted podcast Batman Unburied has topped the Spotify podcast worldwide charts, knocking the Joe Rogan Experience down to number 2.
With that kind of success, it's no surprise they're eager to get more characters on board. Now getting the actor back as his Barry Allen from The Flash in an audio drama? That's gotta be a recipe for success. A beloved actor reprising a fan-favorite role in a whole new medium? That's a surefire way to lure listeners and keep DC riding high in the world of podcasts. So, from the wacky possibility of him blazing back, but plot twist in your earbuds, to our TV pal Barry Allen zooming off into the sunset, this was every way Grant Gustin could return as the Flash.